Howdy folks, I'm Dave, I'm a woodturner. I just got a few things I'd like to play around with today, so I'm going to turn some honey dippers and then, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I've got a show coming up in Alden at Depot Park, Saturday and Sunday this week, the 8th and 9th of June. So I need the time tomorrow to be able to pack and price stuff and all that. So I won't have a stream tomorrow. And everyone who has is a follower should have gotten a message that it was canceled and the message and the reason why. But let's have a little fun, hey? And today I have my pencil in my pocket, so hopefully I won't lose it. It looks like I might need a little bit more light. It's been very warm and muggy today. We got over 80. And high heat and high humidity is not what I'm built for. I don't like it. I lived in Oklahoma for 15, 16 years. I don't want to have to do it anymore. Stop the climate change. Or at least the climate engineering. All right, so I've got a piece of 1-inch stock here. And I'm going to turn a honey dipper out of it. But I'm also going to turn one or two more smaller pieces out of this bit here. Just for fun, man. Just for fun. I did not check that, although this should be all right. Yeah. Speed this bad boy up. I got a fan running in the background, so hopefully that noise isn't too bad. It seems to be pretty quiet. So I set myself some pencil lines for my honey dipper, and I am going to turn this round. But just want to practice a little bit while I'm at it. Those are really nice. That one's a little boogered up, but it's not bad. Let's clean that up a little bit. Need to look and see. I forget what they call this particular feature there. But anyway, so that's my line from here to here. I'm just going to round it out now, and got a little practice with the skew to turn these cleanly. So let's round this piece up. So I'll go over this real quick because it is a skew and a lot of people are mystified by it, intimidated by it. I was one of those people when I started using it too. But what I'm doing is called a peel and cut. The fibers, the grain's running this way, parallel with the ways of the lathe. So when I'm taking a peel and cut, I'm actually taking, just like they would at a veneer shop or whatever, rolling the log and peeling through those layers, and that's exactly what's happening here. I'm sure there are more ways to do this. I know pretty much of 2 ways to make these peeling cuts. And I don't know if one is faster than the other. I think maybe what I was doing is a little bit faster than the other way. But the first way is to start with your handle low. Be rubbing your bevel there on whatever you're gonna peel, and then you slowly raise the handle until you get into that cut, and then you follow that cut down in. So that means the tool has to come forward a little bit to follow it, to keep that same distance, and the handle has to come up. And so it looks like this. And the other way that I'm aware of is just getting your tool set, because that's a lot of complicated. You have to kind of push the tool forward and lift the handle to follow that. Excuse me. To follow that down into the cut. And the way, and I use both, but today, since this is a harder wood, I've been doing it the other way. So how it sets is we always go for our anchor ABCs, right? Anchor first. In this case, I'm actually anchoring it to my hip as well. The other way I'm not, because I have to be able to move the handle. So the handle, the only anchor point really is the tool rest, and then where the cutting edge is hitting the timber. Not super stable for some applications, but for just doing peel cuts, it's not bad. How I prefer to do it is to get my cut, my anchor is going to be here and my hip, and I'm just holding on to the handle of the tool as I normally would. This hand isn't going to do anything or go anywhere. It's just the habit of holding the tool with my thumb on the top to keep my bevel pointed in the direction that I want to travel. It's habit for every tool, whether I use that for that or not. In this case, I'm not. It's just going to stay there. I get my anchor, my bevel set in the direction where it's actually going to be cutting, and I do that by just gently tapping into the wood there, and I can see as it comes over that it's cutting fairly cleanly. So all I do is I move the whole tool with my hip in the direction that the tool is pointing. I can make some minor adjustments by dropping my knees a little bit or raising them up a little bit. I never stand with my knees locked. That's the old military training. Locked knees prohibits flow of blood to the head, and that's why people will pass out when they're staying at attention or standing up too long with the knees locked. They will pass out. So I typically stand with my knees slightly bent. For one, it's a much nicer way to start off with when you start to walk or run or whatever it is to move. It's a much more comfortable way to do that. But the other reason is because I'm moving at the lathe and I'm having to move and shift. So I've gotten into the habit of moving my knees, my ankles, knees, and hips more than anything else on most cuts. So my whole body is moving and dancing with the lathe and the timber, the cutting tool, so that I'm not all tense and tightened up. I can move and adjust quite easily, and it just takes a lot of practice. But also it's the ergonomics, because I'm not stuck in a rigid position. I'm able to move and groove. I'm going to type something in chat here. Whoops. Howdy, howdy. I see I've got quite a few folks in chat now. It's very awesome. I would really appreciate if y'all do me a favor and just drop a hi or what's up or whatever in chat. One of those little milestones that Twitch likes to put out there. And this month for me, it's get 5 people chatting at the same time. So if you do me that kindness, I'd appreciate it. So, I don't know, I guess for me, because I do both of those movements so much, the longer travel, usually on smaller stock, the second method is the one that I will use when I'm doing peeling cuts. I will just move the tool in with my hip. I don't have to use my shoulders or try to, nothing changes. It just goes back and forth, which is the direction that it needs to go because my hips are free to move. Alrighty, I'm gonna do a little bit more work here. Don't be afraid if you get out of the cut or the cut's not going in the direction you were planning on, to back out of it and start it over. If you are getting a lot of vibration in a cut, back out of it, because vibration is the enemy, so to speak. We don't want vibration, so back out of the cut and start the cut over. Don't be afraid to do that. Let's see, I think this end will stay square. I really don't need a tenon for that. This piece I'm just going to cut off and put into my pin jaws, but I will finish the honey dipper before I do that as much as I can. I could give this some shape though. Still got a flat spot right there. My bad, not a flat spot. That is the grain. I'm curious now to see if because it looked like it was cutting better going this direction, but take a look. It is cutting better going that direction. Hopefully I can do that more, except for that grain is not. Alright. Let's see. Let's do... Yeah, I could play around and do a 3-corner box, actually, out of this one in stock, but let's just do... I don't know. I think I would like to have a rounded box shape. So we'll call, say, that material there the lid. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar using a skew, basically I'm just doing a V cut. And what it is we'll just take this piece of timber here, is that I'm starting the point with the toe of the skew. This is the heel, this is the toe. They call it that way because that's the long point. The long point sticks out like a toe. Call it long point, short point, whatever. But that's the terminologies I know. So I'll take the long point. I will have the tool on the tool rest, and I'll take the long point and I set myself up to where when I start the cut, at least I'm starting as close to the tip here as I can, and then I'm just lifting the handle. The bevel will tell me which direction I'm going depending on how I've got it pointed, and all I have to do is keep it steady on the tool rest and just simply lift the handle and move over, and then and do this at an angle, and it gives you a V cut. Let's see, I'm going to have to run, and it's a very safe cut to make. Let's see, I don't need a tenon, but I do want to have room to part this off. Let's see, do I want the lid? I might need a little bit more on the lid here. Let's see. I'm not going to have a super thick lid, so that should do. When that'll be plenty of tenon, so I can part it off here. Alright, that works. I think I've got all my tools put away from the demos I did at Twisted Fish Gallery in Elk Rapids for Spring Art Beat. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so that'll be my lid. I'll have the tenon cut into here. In fact, I can just do that now. So I'm using this skew to just strike a line. I'm not doing a V-cut where I would angle the tool itself, just going straight to strike a line to break the fibers on the surface so that when I go after this with a parting tool, this will stay clean. This edge will stay clean, in theory. Don't believe that will be, that might be too fat of a tenon, but we will be able to put this in the chuck and make any adjustments to that size. I just want to give myself a place where I can part this away from this. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to leave them together until I have it in the pin jaws, but I just want to do the basic shape of the box. Yeah, I think I will actually take it. Love to explain that one because that's a really complicated move. It can be done several different ways. You could work your way down by just doing continual V-cuts until you get to a point where there's no sharp corner, because sometimes that boogers people up having that sharp corner to go around. It's a lot different with this. I've already got a rounded surface. And then to do this, because that corner is going to be a lot thicker than what I'm turning away, because at this 90-degree angle, you can see how much wood has to come off. So depending on how large your spindle piece is, that can kind of be a detriment to some people, a little bit difficult hurdle to get over. So you can just knock those corners off and then go at it, or do it this way. And basically, there's no difference in the tool, the edge orientation to the timber. And in order to get that, I have to move the tool to the left towards the headstock and rotate and lift the handle at the same time, so that where I start my cut, I'm at that point when I finish the cut. That way it's a smoother cut, and it is less prone in a lot of ways to catches. If you try to follow the short point all the way down, sometimes it can catch that edge on the other side, which then can spiral your tool out, or you are not rotating your tool fast enough. It just takes a lot of practice, because you can get your spiral pull-offs, or you get a spiral just dug into the outside of the woods. Happened to me. You can get where it catches and breaks off a piece, or the whole spindle pops out, and that's happened to me too. But those were the early years in the skew, and I did not. Don't follow YouTube advice unless you know that it is a good turner. Just random YouTube advice is not the best to follow. I think YouTubers, and this is not I get it, it's the platform, but they do things for views, right? Not necessarily the safest thing. Not all of them, just some of them. So find a competent turner who can teach you and show you one-on-one, hands-on, how to utilize these tools so that you are doing it in the safest, most efficient way possible, which means that you will more likely stick with it than not. Because there is a learning curve. There's a learning curve for everybody. You don't pick up everything immediately. At least I don't. I could be one of the slow joes in the back of the room. Never claimed to be the brightest bulb, but anyway, there's so many ways to skin this cat, so to speak, to get this done. It doesn't have to be a skew. I could do this with, I can't do that bit with a bull gouge, not as deep anyway. I would have to then switch to a spindle gouge if I was going to go with gouges. With a scraper, it can be done. There'll be a lot more sanding. So any of the tools will do the job. This one just so happens to have been designed to do this specific job. What I like to do when I'm using a skew and I'm making a longer run, I like to have the long point leading. Still have the 45-degree angle, still anchored to the tool rest and on my hip. And then I just shift everything, my ankles and my knees, to the left and follow that all the way down. And it allows me to have a little bit more comfortable, for me anyway, my body mechanics, a little bit more comfortable travel on a long cut like that, rather than having to have the handle down lower. Now I'm below my hip. Not that that is a detriment, but I just feel like when I'm headed to the left, it just makes it a nicer way to cut. I can do either. It does not matter. It's just the one that seems to be my go-to. And the other nice thing about it is, even if you are using the long point, as long as you follow the same rules, you can do the same thing with the long point that you can with the short point when you're rounding off shoulders. This one, of course, will get you in a little bit deeper because it's pointed out further, but either way works just fine. So I'm setting myself up for my, I like to have a little ball on the end of the handle for the dipper, and not, going to be, the ball itself is going to be smaller than the actual dipper head. So its diameter here needs to be smaller than that diameter. I'm not to my diameter yet. Now let's go ahead and hit it with some peeling cuts, because that is a lot of mass to take off at the end here. Alright, let's see. I believe, well, I want to take the diameter down for this guy so that it's fairly even. And then that means I'll want this guy to be a little bit smaller. Make that a little bit rounder, shall we? Now I want to work from the area of most vibration to the area of least vibration, except for the fact that I have to get down the handle down smaller than this sphere. So I have to make the cuts this way. When I get to a point where I feel like I might need some extra support for the piece, because it is going to flex more in the middle than it will at the ends. The ends are supported. This is not. And so the act of the tool cutting into it and the fact that it wants to flex introduces vibration into the process. So I want to get to that diameter of the handle excuse me, first down at this end, and then I can work this way from most vibration to least by making the diameter the same all the way down. I'm going to take my spindle gouge because the curves that I need are not something that, well, I won't say that they're not easy to do, because they are, but getting to the depth that I want to get is going to require a spindle gouge. Now I just need to take this line all the way down to that. Now I'm working from area of most vibration to area of least vibration, which is the headstock. Let's see, I think I'll take this down some. I'm stopping a little bit short because I want a curve there, and the another reason. This is another reason I like using the long point for this, when it travels to the left, is that when I get to the end, that's almost, well, I mean, that's partially curved already. So when I get my spindle gouge up there, it's just a quick clean off. Realize before I go any further, I want to finish this cut. Blend that in. I can do a little bit better than that. There we go. And I need to work my way down to that diameter, but far enough out that I can flip my tool around and not be banging on stuff over here. So I'm keeping the pressure of the tool pretty low against the timber. The only vibration I want to induce, I'm inducing vibration no matter what I do, but the only vibration that I really want to induce is that right off the cutting edge of the tool. Because the stock is getting so thin now, if I get too much pressure on there, that'll snap. Even though this is lignum vitae, it's still, you can see how much it wants to flex. I'm pretty sure you can see that in the camera. So I want to take care when I'm working on that thin, and that's why I'm going from most vibration to least vibration as much as I possibly can. Let's see, that looks okay, but I think take it down a little bit more. Taking my time with this because I've got that very thin bit of timber there. I'm just slowing myself down a bit. Not going any faster than the tool can cut. And there we are. Alright, so I want to cut some beads into this. Other people use a thin-walled parting tool, which I don't currently have, but I can get the ribs pretty deep. Now if I can deepen them even more by using one of my 40-degree gouge. This is a 50-degree gouge. Or by using the skew and doing a V-cut. clean those ribs up some. Up, went too far down into the cut, got a catch. The upper part of the wing there caught, so I could feel it skate out. Looks like I got it though. Make sure I got that. There was a little tear out there. Alright, so that is looking pretty cool. So if I wanted to make the ribs a little bit deeper, I'd just go in with a V-cut, or could have used a thin wall parting tool. I could have done it with a 40-degree gouge, and that would have been deeper as well. This one has to go at an angle. Alrighty. So now I can take this down. So you can probably see that's flexing a lot now. I'm going to hit it with some abrasive. But that's why I want to start usually from the area of most vibration towards either direction, the area of least vibration. Slow this guy down a little bit. Let's back that off a bit. There we go. Just backed off the tailstock quill just a little bit. Get rid of that vibration, or most of it anyway. So those were good solid cuts. I don't think I need to sand them, but this one I might, because I need to go back in there. I'm going to have to sand the end, so I'll just touch this a little bit. sand this end a little, so let's touch that. Then I'll just do a few V-cuts to get down, in theory anyway, the depth where I can part this off or not saw very much. You know, that's probably about as far as I should go there. Cool, got some of the beetle tracks on the dipper. That's nice. Alright, let's slow this down. Okay. Well, I suppose that might snap off right there. I hope not. Let's spin it around to here. There we go. So it did snap off a little bit, but a little proud, so that works for me. The one word working tool I take everywhere. Just sand following the grain. That side's done. Hey, I'm working on not dropping things. What's the first thing I drop? That piece of sandpaper. Alright, so I'll cut this a little bit proud. There we go. So I rotate the piece and take little nibbles off until there's no torn end grain, because that is always more difficult to sand. Cool. There we have finished honey dipper. Move that aside. Move on to the box. Set that over there. Oh, cool. Yay, the coffee stream is working. So, thanks for joining me again. When you get a chance, please do me a favor and drop a hi, howdy, hey, smiley face, whatever in chat. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Let me know you're here, man. Alrighty. Oh yeah, I can turn away the bottom. That works. It's nice. I got the garage open. Got not a ton more light, but a little bit. Fan blowing. This is not too shabby. Tell you, today's been a muggy day. Bad boy running as true as I can get it. Looks pretty good. I like that speed. We can get rid of the elbow poker guy. Because the elbow poker guy hurts, man. Alright, so I think, will that actually, oh, that'll actually leave me. Might leave me just enough for a little handle. That's cool. So I'm taking smaller cuts out here on the end. Because I'm out here on the end, the area of most vibration. That's probably too big for a handle. Should have a little bit of fun with it. Go. Yeah, it doesn't need to be it's not going to be a super tight fit for the lid, so that works for a small little handle. Yeah. And then the indentation from the tailstock is now a feature. Very cool. Alright, what shape? I think I will round the lid off a little more. Not a lot. Just a little bit. I'm just working within the limits of my gouge. If I wanted to go further in, I could get a different gouge, but okay, that is the shape I want, so I can do this part now. I guess I will probably need to throw a little bit of abrasive on this so the surface texture matches. And then I will want to deal with the shoulders of these two. I want to make them more square. So use a skew for that. Makes it a nice, simple operation to do that. Let's see. Do I want to make that a little bit smaller tenon? That is a good question. I at least want it to be square. Chamfer that edge. This is going to be interesting because I just thought about whether or not I wanted to hollow the box itself, which means I'm going to leave tool marks on the outer edge here. If I do that, where I hold, or I could just hold it right there. I don't know if that'll be strong enough to hollow this bit out, but it might be. Unless I just make it a leave the tenon the way it is. He says. Well, let's get to the cutting off bit. Whoops. See, there's a little spot that I kind of didn't hit with the abrasive. Tight cove. Alright, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Oh man, I just thought, nah. I mean, I could kind of easily turn it into an acorn box right now. Actually, Actually, I think I will. So that will be the end bit where I make that little pointy little bit for the acorn end. We'll just say that that is a larger corn, man. And I will need to taper this down a bit so that the lid overhangs just a skosh. Hell, I can do it at 400, why not? Oh, maybe a wee bit more. So I get it rubbing on the heel there, on the bevel. On that line, the bevel line, and then I can drop it down into the bevel, position the tool till I get that cut started right there. I think it's not quite enough. So I'll take a little more. Looks to be just about, that's pretty close. I will want to chamfer this edge a bit, so I'll just hit it with some abrasive. I'll have to hit this again with abrasive. Okay, that's a pretty long corn. I've seen some rather large white acorns, but white oak acorns, not that big. That would be closer to a paper walnut tree. And it would be a small seed for that. So let's see, pencil. So if I take it to there, let's see. We're not looking at this. Alright, so I'll take it back to here. After I hollow it. So my depth will be, well, but that's not super critical because the end's going to be rounded and then pointed. So somewhere in this area will be my depth. May not go that deep, but I have the option. Okay. Figure out how I'm going to hold that. A little low there. Still a little bit low. We'll try that. So I'm just going to bore a hole down in with my spindle gouge. 50-degree spindle gouge. I'm going to bore a hole down in the center, and you could use a 3/8 drill or whatever you want to use for that. This is just so I don't have to pick up another tool. I can do it with this guy. Maybe a little bit deeper than that. Not quite to my line. That'll do. Probably would have gone a little faster if I was going faster than 400 RPM. It's too high now. So I'll take my box scraper and then follow the edge down in there. I want to leave the diameter just enough to get a snuggish fit. I imagine that I probably won't be carrying it around in my pocket or anything, but you never know, it might be in a shirt pocket perhaps. We don't want the lid just falling off. So with this guy, both of my hands are pulling this way to keep that edge straight as it's going down in. And the only pressure that's pushing it this way is just this hand. And of course, this is a tiller hand, so I can make those minor adjustments in direction. That's probably not thin enough yet. Now I'm not pulling hard enough to scrape the inside with this edge here. I'm just trying to keep it in contact all the way down. Alright, so that gets me to there, which will be deep enough for this guy, because I need to clean up the bottom with a spindle gouge. It will have a rounded bottom on the inside. Just a little bit more. I don't have to be that close, I guess. I could just leave it somewhere like that. Okay, a little bit more. Even though I don't like hanging this far off the tool rest. This means I gotta go slow and steady. Almost. So just sneaking up on the fit. Oh man, that's really close. Alright, now is the point where I want to do a little bit of scraping with this end, and that's going to mean that I need to hit it with the diamond wheel real quick. Before I do that, let's go ahead and double check. Yep, almost. I don't know, I might be able to do it this way. She's getting there. Gotta be enough room. Tiny bit more. So I'm sighting where my tool steel is at, right down into the ways here to see that they're parallel and keep my cut as straight as possible. Just a skosh too thin. That's a drag. Alright. And how are we going to fix that, kids? Let me show you. Let's finish this guy first. Whoop. Keep as much of this sawdust as I can. I won't need that much, but it's better to have more than I need. Okay, I need to, doggone it, I'll be right back. I need to grab a flashlight. No pockets in this thing. Okay, not going to be much cleanup. that'll do. I'll take another pass. I will take another pass. Had a little nub in the bottom that I couldn't quite get. Now it's gone. Alright, set the flashlight over here. Now let's gauge our depth. Puts me right there. Nope, not quite that far. Right there. So just a tad bit deeper than I wanted, but that's okay. We're still in good territory. Let's get rid of, I need that one. That mark. And that mark. Maybe darken that one a little bit more. Now we're going to flip this guy around. Well, actually not quite yet. Let's do... I think that'll be running true. True enough for what I'm going to do anyway. I'll run the parting tool down in there so I have less to cut off of the bottom. Or less to turn off, I guess would be the better way to put it. Still a cut, but still, no, I guess I'm not. Here I don't mind parting it off this way, and you can see that torn and twisted grain that you get from taking all the way off with the parting tool, but that's going to get turned away, so it's not the finished end that I'm after. That's coming. Save that in the tenon bucket. Alright, this should be large enough diameter that I can get this in a compression or an expansion hold. Yes. want to have a good firm hole, but not super strong, because I don't want to split it open, but I don't want it wiggling at all. That should be good. You're not going to make it, are you? All right. Hello, summertime, right? I mean, I guess it would be alright if it wasn't so humid. That's supposed to be August weather, man. That's supposed to be August weather around these parts. Okay, so I know I've got some meat in here to play with because it's curved on the inside. So again, I want to take lighter cuts. So the line is gone. It might be a little sharp of a point there. I'll take that off with a little abrasive though. So I just want to double check. Okay, so I can take that down a little bit. Whoops, got a little bit of vibration in there. So let me spin it. See, it could be that it's not quite in the same spot on the chuck jaws. Indentations on the inside, which aren't a big deal to the design of it, but gotta find those little, that might be it right there, little detents. Things just kind of slip into place. That's not it. I will get it. It was running true before I took it off the doggone chuck. A little bit better. So I'm going the right direction anyway. A little bit better. Oh, that's almost it right there. Let's just rotate it just a little bit more. direction. Gotta go back. Vibration increased. Well, I suppose, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to make new lines on this piece. I don't want that to happen. If it's vibrating and it is not running true, then I will have different lines that I've got to sand out to blend everything in, and I don't want to do that. There we go. This is the surface needs to be running true. Yep, that'll do. And since it is a larger acorn, we will leave the point a little bit longer. Oh yes, you just love running slow, I know. I get a lot more noise out of the lathe when it's running at its slowest speed. Okay, it's not sharp, but I want to round it over. There we go. I like that. Okay. I wonder, I may bleach that part a little bit. Oh, let's get it out of there. Nice thin-walled box. Lid's a little loose, but we're going to fix that. Well, let's see, where's the grain run that way? All right. So I'm putting it in the pin jaws, but I'm lining it up in such a way that the jaw marks are going to be running with the grain, or it will appear to be that way. They'll at least be squared up. And this is again lignum vitae, so it is a little bit nicer in the jaws. Like I can get a little bit more grip on it than I could say like elm or definitely pine. You know, the softer woods would want to just dig right in there. Ooh, there's some really fine sawdust. I'll take that. So what I want to do is I want to build up this outside, this rim on the inside here. I will be right back. Alright, so I got some thin CA glue and accelerator and just a drinking straw that I cut at an angle to get like a little spoon. I like using these a lot because I can get small quantities of things right where I want them. And it's a free soda straw, man. And if the end breaks, I can just cut it back a little bit more and still have more soda straw. Let's see, I'm going to take this feller here to hold down the paper towel because my fan is trying to lift it away from the lathe. So I'm not spinning really fast or anything like that. All I'm doing is just taking this. I want to get, well, I want to get glue for one, and my glue bottle has become plugged. Nope. Well, that didn't work, so we'll do this. There we go. I'll just put a little bit on there. And then a little bit of sawdust. and slowly build this up a little bit. Then I can take my parting tool and get it down to size. And doing it this way kind of helps it stick to the timber, so when I rotate the headstock, or rather the spindle, it won't just fall off. And I do want to go all the way around with this because I don't want it to sit in there off center. So in essence, basically I should have just gone ahead and scraped at the side instead of trying to come in from the end, but it's one of those things takes practice, and how am I going to get it if I don't practice it? Come on. Then I'll hit this with the accelerator. Let it sit for just a little bit. And take the parting tool to it and fit it to the box. And then I can hollow out the lid a little bit like I would like to. The glue seems to be setting already. Still hit it with the accelerator. I will still do that. However, before I do that, nope, I gotta hit it with the accelerator first. Okay, be right back when we put the glue away. See anything new in chat? What the heck? What is going on here? Boy, this coffee thing is going bananas. Well, I may have to remove that. That seems like a lot more intrusion than I thought there would be. Okay, now I can move this stuff. Come here, you. Okay, so it will not fit. Speed this guy up. A little bit more. Oh, just a little bit more. That is almost the fit I'm after. Just need to get into that shoulder, I believe. A little bit more. It's a little too fat. Nope, not quite. It does have a small handle, so it shouldn't be a huge struggle to get the lid off. Yeah, I think that might do. Yes, that's what I want. All right. Cool. So now that's fixed. Let's take care of the rest of the lid. So this is why I use the sawdust, usually, not always. Usually use the sawdust that I have left over if that's a problem, that I've taken the tenon down a little too far for a lid that is a friction fit on the inside of the box. Because usually, not all the time, usually it will be just a slightly darker color version of itself. It won't change like into a different color. And then when I finish the outside, these two surfaces will look the same because I've used the same wood sawdust. There are times though when that doesn't work, and it is a little more obvious that the repair was done. Oh, that's probably all right. Chamfer that edge and the outer edge. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. No sharp corners. Now I can spin this guy around. If I can find the key, there's the key. See how close I got. Not too bad. Okay, not much pressure, it's trued up. So I just need enough pressure to hold it in there to run some abrasive over it again. Because I got a little bit of CA glue, sorta, just a little smoosh of it. Fairly smooth, that works for me. And now I think, let's see, would I carve that? Nah, not gonna carve it. I will, however, hit it with some of this. That is way too much. PC Smo, just us chickens. Yeah, hey, I'd give you a call. I know you had mentioned Wednesday to get together to borrow, so I could borrow the trailer. So I can call you in the morning. I do not mind coming out at all. I'll call you after this broadcast if you're still awake, although you may not be because you have like a life and a job and shit. Okay, that's the cap. Yeah, that polished up pretty nice. And now this feller, which I probably should have done when I had it on the lathe before, but I didn't. close. Oops. That'll work. Easy there, Pilgrim. Yeah, that'll be good enough. Then we'll hit this with the buffing balm. Baldy's better be his buffing balm. Cool. That was something kind of fun to do. Well, okay, not kinda. It was fun to do. Clean out these little beetle holes here. Get the wax out of that. I will do this. Whoops. Don't step on it. Don't step on it. These two guys right here. So, whoops. Forgot to clean this guy off. Oh man, it's still muggy, but it's finally cooling down a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's not winter and all that, but there we go. Ooh, hey, yeah, let's line up the grain. Let's clean off the rest of that. Not the right direction, that's the right direction. Alright. Or is it? There we go. So a little stylized acorn. I guess I'm not going to carve the top. We'll just leave it as a stylized little acorn. And the lid doesn't want to just pop off. So I'm going to call that a good fit. And there we have it. Yes, I know I'm a wood hoarder, but there's a reason. It's because I use most of it. All right, we'll set that guy aside. All right, let's see. I'm running out of gas. We'll call you tomorrow morning. Groovy. Groovy, thank you. I hope you rest well, sir. Okay, I don't know. Let's play with this chunk of wood. What do you say? What time we got? How am I doing? Doing all right. Now, let's see. For this, I can put the skews away. Those two can go. All those three can go in the drawer. And heck, while I'm at it, water break. Hey, there we go. Okay, so this is a piece of crotch wood that I had gotten the bark off out of the crotch. And then hopefully, I think I've got this cut in a direction that will let me get a good hold on it. Put these guys away. And see what we might get out of this. All right, I'll need to bring this out some. That ought to do. And now I'm going to try to get it as centered as I can get it. All right, hold on. Let's help ourselves out here. So the pith is here, so I can mark that right there. And the pith was over there somewhere, so we'll mark that right there. And that will give me this line. Get that bark out of there. So the bark in the middle, right there, tells me that's pretty much the center. I'm going to be off the center just a little bit over here, I believe. But That's where the branches grew together, that bark inclusion there. So let's say something like that. Alright, let's take a look. It's going to be way off balance, but what I want to see is this shoulder and this shoulder being about the same distance away. Oops. I'm going from there. Let's go from the center. That's 3. Oh yes, it's time for the bugs. That's really close, but I'm going to move it over a little bit this way. So I'm going to be way out of balance at the get-go. That's 2. That's 2. But I'll round it out as quickly as I can to get rid of that vibration. Does that look centered? That looks... almost centered there. So I need to go even further this way. Oh, now I can see the bark inclusion down there. Okay, so that right there and that right there. So I've got a bark inclusion apparently that goes all the way through. So this should be interesting. You know, I can get closer than that. Will that clear the tool rest? No. Banjo is just slightly in the way. Okay. Make sure I'm as secure as I can get. That's not very secure. Still slightly green wood too, so it should compress pretty well. There, that should do for now. Clears there, clears there. Need a bowl gouge. Hey, let's go with this guy. Oh, and I should think ahead and take everything off the lathe that I don't want in the shavings. So let's do that. The abrasive, the towel will be fine. Don't need this blank right now. One of these broadcasts, I want to turn some stuff out of this blank. Red cedar and resin. Thought I might deal with it today, but nah. Okay. So, let the bodies hit the floor. Where am I at? I'm turning a little bit fast, so since this is a Reeves drive, I can spin the handle to slow it down while I spin this. Vibration isn't that bad. Probably because of this other wing right here. So that will change dramatically in a minute. So I'm watching the ghosting up here. You can probably see it down here because I can't see the edge as it comes around, or the side of it. Let's go and get this guy over here now. Oh, you'll clear the banjo, sweet. A little bit closer. Come a little bit closer. So you can use a spindle roughing gouge if you want, whatever works for you. Use that. I used to own one. I don't own one now, but they are nice tools. Whoa! Started that cut a little bit early. Keep working her down. Ooh, that was a touch close. there, it seems like. Oh, that's because I am turning slow. Okay, that's as far as that goes. So oh yeah, that bar conclusion goes all the way through there. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Let's see if I what am I? What are you? Oh, whoops, throwing shavings everywhere and all over the computer, too. All right. So that's got to go. That's all cracked, but it was going to go anyway. Let's see. Let's take it down some more. Okay. I think that might give me a better surface. Nope. I was wrong. Okay, spindle gouge. Oh, what the heck. Okay. Can kind of see a shape taking form here. I think. I think I will leave that. I will leave that. As much of it as I can. I think I'm seeing kind of a bell shape in this. And the bugs are out tonight. Let's see, take that off. That looks not bad. Not bad. Okay. Pretty clean, I think. Let's see, should I take this down anymore? Well, let's finish this bit first. Yeah, then it can change shape and do some groovy stuff. I can turn a handle for it later. Actually, I'll do this as a twice turned in theory. So if I keep it in the chuck jaws, this should stay together, but I may want to wrap it, so that might happen. Let's see. Let's get this shape. You know, bull guys are good for a lot of stuff. I think I want my large spindle gouge for this guy. Still got a really, really nice cove out of that, but I want to take this edge down some, that side down some, without having to swing the handle so much. See, I'll finish that bit later. So let's get this hose started a little bit nicer. Clean that up later too. I think now I can actually, now let me do a little bit of scraping right here with my bowl gouge just to blend that ridge in. And then I will sand the outside, this part right here. Well, I'm not sure what that was, but that was a large bug. Did not really get to see it. Right by my head. If I was in Oklahoma, I would guess it was a cicada. See how that looks. Not bad. This is going to be nice. All this curl and feathering in here. It's going to look pretty cool. Oh, do I want to leave? Oh, I could leave that line. I think I will accentuate it a little bit, but... But the sanding pretty much took it out. I was thinking about, there was a little line here, a little tool line. I thought about leaving just to accentuate the rim a little bit, but I think this is well, shoot, man, maybe I should. You know, I will. A little bit to the flared end here. Yeah, that works. Although, if this is a twice turn piece, that no longer matters. Well, no, I'm going to finish the outside. It's the inside that's going to... No, I probably... Will I true this up? Let's ask Dave. Dave doesn't know. Maybe I won't true up the outside. Maybe I'll just hollow the whole thing now. Hey, little dude. Maybe I'll just hollow the whole thing out now and let it dry and change shape, and then come back and work the handle and all that. Am I going to do that? Or is it smarter to... It's smarter to leave it to twice turn it. So, hey, sorry, dude, you kind of look like a little boatman. What are you doing out of the water, man? No, go find the water. Okay, so I got that set up for a chuck. A little bit more sanding here, and I can move on. At this point, I'm really not using very much pressure, just enough to get the wheel to spin. On my Grex sander. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so yes, I will twice turn this dude. We'll have to true up the outside and then turn the inside again. That's just fine. All right, so I need to get rid of this, put it in a chuck, hollow it out. While I'm at it, I'll also get rid of this. no. That won't do. Pretty sure that's not centered, but it doesn't matter for what I'm going to do. I just want to cut that off. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with my parting tool so I don't have so much to hack through with my fine-tooth saw blade. Just had to be close. Oops. Well, that's a bummer. But that's why you shouldn't use a saw on your ways. Okay, so the bark inclusion goes all the way through. This will split. It'll split open on this side, which might still be okay. Anything new on chat? No, but the coffee stream bot keeps coming by, and that's crazy. I need to adjust that. Okay, time to change the jaws. That out of the way, that out of the way. This guy over here. Yes, it's Oh Dark 30 now. And all these lights, I'm sure. Yep, one running right in my ear. Are just calling out to the bugs. Come here. Alright, so you are number 2, so number 2 is right here. Whoops. So how am I doing on time? Not bad. Hey! Back here. Good thing there's a magnet there. That caught that. My paper towel holder is a magnet, or 2 magnets with bars on them to hold the paper towel roll. And that's the magnet that saved me from going to the other, well, I'd have to go around to the other side anyway to put this stuff away, but in other circumstances, all right. I've said it many times. I will say it many more times. I really like this Vic Mark chuck. It is a nice, solid piece of equipment. Whoops, I don't want to do it there. I want to do it there. And I believe I'm going to grab some painter's tape to wrap this guy. Oh my, well, you know what, I'm not going to worry about that. Got some marks on it from sitting down in the ways, but since it's going to change shape anyway, most likely we'll be turning that away later. Well, that might be right on the money. Alright, so I'm going to grab some painter's tape real quick. I will be right back. I want to wrap this so that these don't try to separate and start wobbling when I'm hauling. Yep, I will use the wider stuff. I also want to take care to wrap it in such a way that the tag end, the free end, is pointed away from the direction of rotation so that it comes around. It won't try to get peeled up or anything like that. Let's go one more. I'm going to start off with my spindle gouge. May change to a bowl gouge. Depending on what this does, so let's find out, shall we? Blow off my computer again. Hardy har har. Move all that over. I swear that seems slow, man, but it says 1,000 RPM. I'm using some backhauling techniques on this. I'm actually cutting with this upper wing. Oh, there we go. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so I got the catch right there at that bark inclusion, so that means I'm going to have to go the other direction. I wanted to haul this out in this direction, but that's not going to work out. So I'll just haul it out like a bowl. I wasn't sure if that would work. That's what I said. I may change to a bowl gouge. See, I've got uneven surface here, and then cutting with the upper wing as this came around, it caught that other side of that bark inclusion and squirted it right off the lathe. Okay. I do believe my tool rest is a little, yeah, maybe it's all right. So I want an even wall thickness. This is going to be turned again at a later date when it's done all of its drying and movement. So I want to leave the walls a little thick. And since this is maple, that means it won't move a lot. So it'll be less material removal after the drying process to true it up again. Which means to me, I have more timber to play with later. If I want to do any embellishments or anything like that, I actually have material that I can use. Alright, let's flip this light on. That should really call the bugs in. Okay, let's see. My depth is about that, so I can go a little deeper. There, so I can go a little deeper. Now remember, I'm working to maintain an even wall thickness all the way through here. It's staying thicker, not going to the finished form yet, because I want the wood to dry and do all of its movement first, and then I can come back, true everything up, and hopefully have left myself enough material but with this piece of maple it should be fine. It's I don't expect it to move a whole lot. Okay, that looks about right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try. I think I'm going to try my negative rake scraper really quick. Kind of hesitate because it's scraping in that one wall here where it's split, but this is probably okay. This is probably fine. Alright, so that's even, that's even. Ooh, it's not even there though. Since you were doing such a bang up job. Scraper's working really nicely on this green timber. Okay, there we go. That's the wall thickness I need. Okay, so this is I need to take this down a little bit and resize that a little bit so that I have less material here. I will probably dish some of that out on the foot, so let's take a look here. Yeah, I think I will, just so I have the even wall thickness all the way around it. Trying not to get too froggy because I mean, I've got painter's tape, but painter's tape is not the strongest stuff, and I don't want this to split just yet. I want it to do it. I really don't want it to do it at all, but it probably will. Ugh. Got bugs on my face, man. My hands are busy. Okay, first off, I need to make sure that I'm at the right height, and I am not. That should do. And I should put it on a 45-degree angle. All right. Okay, I need to go a little bit deeper here with this. I want to make sure that I'm leaving enough for the handle. Let's go ahead and clean this up. Oh yeah, that's why. It's now no longer going against. That's alright. I'm done now. Okay, so that's about twice as thick as the rest, which is not ideal, but everything should be pretty okay. I know that this is probably going to open up. I'm going to leave the painter's tape on it while it does its thing. And I've got an even wall thickness all the way through, right up to about that level right there. And then this thickness, so that's twice the thickness of everything else from here to the inside, which should be okay. So we'll let it dry for a while. See what comes of it. I'm hoping like heck that all this stuff really starts to split out. I think that'll look pretty cool. And I hope that the bark stays on, because I think that'll look pretty cool too. set this aside on the drying rack-ish. Let's grab this guy. And hey, not bad. Right on time, man. Doing just fine this time. So here we are. We made it to the end again, my friend. Am I in the... Yeah, let's turn that light off. Maybe lower that a bit. Something like that. Groovy. Alright, so 3 projects. We got Honey Dipper first, and then this little acorn box with the lid there. That was kind of fun. So don't throw away your stock, right? That's why I'm a wood hoarder. Because I might use it, like, 10 years from now. But I might use it. All right. Just by way of quick introduction, my name is Dave. I am a wood turner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. I'm a disabled vet, it's been one of the best therapies I've ever worked with. So I'm doing my best to share it with everyone, and I really enjoy teaching and doing demonstrations because wood turning is mostly finesse. But to get there takes practice. And there's a whole lot of difference between, 100 hours of practice and 1,000 hours of practice. And I have thousands. So, and even so, there's turners that have way more experience than I do behind the lathe. And we all make mistakes. We're human beings. So I hope that you get that mindset in your head that you're going to allow yourself to make those mistakes, not beat yourself up about it, because it's part of the learning process. And also the mistakes, like the lid that I had done there, I wouldn't have learned how to fix that without making the mistakes in the first place. I wouldn't have figured that out. So it is an amazing meditative process for me, and it can be for others. I've heard other people even say it. So it's possible that it could be for you, and that's why I started this channel. I want to become a better turner myself. I want to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator, and I want to help people like you become better turners too. So I have a lot of fun with this. I really enjoy it. I want to thank you very much for joining me this evening. Tomorrow's broadcast, regular Wednesday broadcast, will not happen because I'll be packing and getting things set for the excuse me, Whitefish Festival Art Show at Depot Park in Alden, Michigan, Saturday and Sunday, June 8th and 9th. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be my first time in that show. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to getting a look around at some of the other artists' works. There are artists in this show that I've never gotten to meet yet. And this is a fine art show, so I think it'll be fun. Hopefully you can make it out, and we can chat a bit face to face, which I always enjoy. I hope that you give yourself the time to practice, learn turning find a local club if you're not part of it. If you are, find someone in your club who knows what they're doing with turning. Don't blindly follow YouTube. That can be very, very dangerous, and you can get hurt. My first couple years turning were kind of rocky. I almost gave it up because, well, I went to YouTube for information, and my opinion is people who do YouTube stuff like that do it for the views, and so they're not necessarily concerned about safety. They're not concerned about body mechanics, all those kinds of things to keep you at the lathe for as long as you can be. And those are the things that I like to teach, along with the tools, skills, form, function, all those things. It's a lot of fun for me. So I really appreciate having you here with me so I can share it with you. And I hope to see you, if not at the art show, right back here next Tuesday on Twitch Tuesday. And we'll be turning something else, man. So I hope you stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening and you rest well. And I'll see you next time. Good night.